Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this video. My name is Ryan Cushman, a realtor and investor in North Georgia, and I'm here to run through an analysis for you of a property I like in Ellijay. You can reach me at ryancushman.com, but in the meantime, let's get after it. I'm going to try to make this one really quick. The property that I want to look at today is 434 Lemmon Ln. It's a beautiful property in Ellijay. It's in the Kusawati River Club. It's a 5-bedroom and at an attractive price for that size of a home. It was built in 2005. It claims to be turnkey, and we'll look through a few of the pictures to point out some opportunities for improvement with this property that will help set it apart and help it drive revenue. It's been on the market, it says for 14 days, but let's just double check this. Okay, yes, that is accurate. It has been on the market just for 14 days. This has been a quick turnaround from the previous owners who bought it in just about over 2 years ago. They also do have it being professionally managed by a management company, so that could be part of it. Yeah, so let's look at some of the pictures here. It's got this great, A-frame look here on the end of it, and it has all these nice chairs to be able to soak in some of the views. Let's click through a few more of these. 2 great decks. This fire pit space over here is really nice. A couple of things to call out here real quick is that some of the furniture looks to be a little dated, a little bit old-fashioned, and perhaps even a little bit worn down. So I think it would be prudent for the buyer of this property to set aside a budget to do a lot of replacing of the furniture. This property is turnkey, so all the furniture is staying with it, which in some regards, when you're buying a property that's been a short-term rental, perhaps not operating at its peak opportunity, it can be kind of a hassle to swap out, to get rid of old furniture and then bring in new furniture. But I think that would be something that I would highly recommend for this property. Some of it can certainly stay. This love seat right here is nice, and some of the other furniture I'll call out is still in decent looking shape based on the pictures here. But a couple of call outs here is that this hangy power cord, small TV situation here, I think looks a little weak, and could afford to be upgraded right there. These mismatchy chairs, I guess they've tried to do in every other thing, and this rug down here, I just don't think it's doing the property very many favors. So I'd certainly consider a wholesale upgrade of the dining situation, even perhaps replacing this chandelier. But for timing's sake, let's try to click through a few more of these here. Kitchen's nice, appliances look good, outdoor space is great. These views and the deck seating, relaxing, being out in nature, I think is a great amenity. All right, so a lot of the bed frames and just kind of look lame, old-fashioned, cheap. So I would, based on all the pictures that I've looked at for what the bedding looks like, the bedding situation, I would probably end up replacing most of the bed frames. This just looks old and unattractive. And I'm not an interior designer, so take it for what it's worth. But I cringe when I see these couches, this design of love seat. So I would, I know some people like the, cabiny feel with bear print all over the place, but I think it's run its course, and a lot of folks would prefer that it's just like really nice, modern type of feel in a cabin. You can have the modern furnishings, the modern decor in a cabin and still get all the cabin vibes that you are there for. So yeah, dated bedding, dated bed frames, here's an opportunity to perhaps upgrade the entertainment and put a bigger, sectional down here, a lower profile entertainment center with a big, 75 or 85-inch TV on the wall with a sound bar for some improved sound, and a little bit of a home theater opportunity there. That wouldn't be overly expensive. Here's a good space for perhaps a ping pong table, and maybe there's another location where this foosball table could go, or a pool table. Cheap looking bedding. I like this room. The bunk room looks good. I think these are great. I love the print here on the wall too. I think there's maybe an opportunity to do another, wall design thing, perhaps somewhere else in the home, maybe down here in the entertainment space. All right, we'll click through the rest of it here. The decks are great. It's got a hot tub, so check there. The plastic seating around here, I'd maybe swap. These tend to break and get beat up by the sun over time, so they may be in worse shape than what they look like here, and it may just be beneficial to get some, circular wooden seating and maybe some Adirondacks out here, or like a posted hang swing over here, or something to that effect to make this look a little better. This looks like it's maybe run its course as well, and so doing building out a little bit more robust of a fire pit could be beneficial there as well. And then I think some things that are opportunities for this property is taking the amenities to the next level. So maybe that means moving the fire pit down into the green space here and turning this into a putt green, or perhaps over here building out another space for a barrel sauna. And there are any number of higher end amenities that most of the market doesn't have that could be really beneficial and set this property apart and take it to the next level. So really great aesthetics, has almost everything you would want or need, and a handful of things that I think would make sense to do to this property to elevate it and bring it to the next level and make it perform better. So another thing to note is that in the Kusawati River Club, it has access to all these great communal amenities. We got pickleball, we got tennis, we got an indoor pool that's open year round, and even this, great entertainment, arcade, workout facilities, which are all accessible to guests who stay in this community. So lots of beauty, lots of nature. This property is also not far from the river, so that would be accessible to guests. Great property, and 5 bedrooms. Great price for this property in this market. Let's take a look at what the numbers are telling us when we flip over to Rabu. And again, I've started to do an analysis in 2 different places, Rabu and then also Price Labs. I'm going to go through this really quickly. The default here is something that I always adjust. So let's go ahead and make those adjustments here. We're going to increase the radius a little bit. Minimum guest reviews of 5 or 6, whatever, somewhere in there. And hot tub. All right, that sets our standard at 55K. If we perform in the 75th percentile, we're up in the 96K. Some of that might be a little bit lofty, and I'll get to that here in a minute. Okay, so 96K, we have some comparables here that might make it a little bit tough for us to get to that number. If we look at some of these comps here, this one being perched right on the water with some nice outdoor space, that one's going to be tough to compete with. We have another one here that looks really great and also right on the water. So some of these waterfront properties are commanding some of the best revenue. Another waterfront property right here. This one down here has got some great outdoor amenities. This fire pit situation, outdoor space, hot tub. That looks really nice. So depending on how hard we go with updating and improving some of the amenities at this property, you know, we could safely find ourselves somewhere between 50 and 90K range. I know that's a big range, but it really depends on how much improvement to the both the furnishings, the decor, and then also those extra amenities that really set the property apart. With this property not being waterfront, it really is important to show up with amenities that nobody else has, whether that's a putt green, whether that's, like I said, a barrel sauna. Those things can be real money makers, real big difference makers to making sure that the property performs where it should. We'll flip over. So some of these properties show that their numbers are really low. So it just goes to show that, and actually the same properties in Price Labs are showing really high numbers. So one thing to just point out, when you're using Rabu, you have to just take everything with a grain of salt. This is a property that I own. It's currently for sale, and Rabu estimates that it does 32K at the 75th percentile, which isn't bad for this property, but it actually makes about 44K, so it's off by quite a bit. And then when you go into the comps for my own property, scroll down here, see this is my property here showing up as a comp. It says I do 63% occupancy and $2,300 a month, which is just not true. I'm at like 88% occupancy, and whatever higher than that is based on 44K a year. So grain of salt for Rabu. All right, so let's double check our numbers here. Circling back to our subject property, 434 Lemmon Lane. We're here in Price Labs. This is an estimate based on comps for Price Labs for the same address, and it says we are ranging from 31K to 67K. So I've gone through and done similar amenities. 48K is the average estimate. We've got hot tub selected in here. The law of averages puts us in a 31 to 67K range. When we look at comps here, some of these properties that are making 123K, 97K, these are all pretty spectacular properties. This one right here that says 72K, when you click on this, is actually the subject property. So it's hero shot is this kind of weak looking fire pit situation with the plastic chairs. So in some instances, I'm trusting Price Labs information a little bit over Rabu, because these numbers look and feel more correct based on these properties than what the comparables were showing up in Rabu. So I find it interesting that this property is estimated to be doing about 72K, and the hero shot is pretty weak. I think there's a lot of opportunity, like I pointed out, for some improvements in the furnishings and decor. And okay, so we actually have a better visual for where things are in this shot here. So yeah, updating this common space with a bigger a bigger entertainment space, whether that we replace this with a ping pong table or pool table or something, and we maybe switch this out for a sectional where it can seat more people. We update and improve the TV offering here, put a big one in there. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of opportunity. The decor, I think, is probably dragging this property down, and adding a few top shelf amenities to this property could go a long way. And that and Price Labs says this place is making almost $73K. Oh, the other thing I want to point out is that it's currently managed by Evolve. So it's, you know, it's a property management company that is notorious for not doing that great a job of providing, you know, really great guest experiences. None of these big property management companies do. So some real nice opportunities. And so let's I've already gone on longer than I wanted to with this video, but here we go. So I plugged in the key metrics into this, the key figures into this estimation tool, which is available for free on my website, ryancushman.com. We've got a couple of different scenarios in here. We've got association fees and appropriate costs estimated in here with property taxes and cleaning fees and insurance, etc. So when we model out scenario number 1 with an average nightly rate of $275 and 50% occupancy, we are doing about $51K. We are making about $400 a month, $5,000 a year. Scenario 2, making $60K. So this is underperforming what Price Labs estimates for it, but would still be making us about $1,100 a month, for $13,000 to $14,000 a year. And if we're really doing a great job, maybe we boosted the occupancy to 2/3 of the month, we're making $76K. And I also feel like this is conservative. I feel like this number is conservative, and that number down here of $2,300 a month, I think, is very reasonable. The acquisition price on this property and you compare that to other properties in the market for 5 bedrooms in you know, good shape like this property's in, I feel like this property's a deal, a deal for sure. And so you can see that it's not going to be hard to cash flow positively with this property, which is why it stands out to me in this market. And so if this property or any other property is of interest to you, please reach out to me. I'd love to spitball ideas with you and run through scenarios with you. And let's take the next steps to help you find that perfect investment property. Stay tuned for more property reviews coming your way to this channel. And thanks for watching the whole way through. We'll see you next time.